아따. 스크래버너이라고 독해가 조금 늦어졌습니다. 밥 먹기 전에 저장하겠습니다. The Diary of a Young Girl. Anne Frank. This is D-Day, came the announcement over the English news, and quite rightly, this is the day. This is the day. Thank you for being late. An optimistic guide to thriving in the age of acceleration. What is so special about the Golden Rule is that while it is the simplest of all moral guide, it produced the most complex of all behaviors. It's ever adaptive. It applies to every imaginable situation in a way that no rule book ever could, argues G, a professor of organizational behavior at Harvard Business School. Dog does not eat the dog. Doing business with the Japanese. The initial approach, telephone, letter, or go between. The art of start. The time-tested, battle-hardened guide for anyone starting anything. Guy has done it again. Evangelized something useful and meaningful. Learn like a pro, science-based tools to become better at anything, jam-packed with practical, evidence-based advice. Research shows that fewer than 1% of people can read at speed faster than 400 words per minute without loss of comprehension. The Way to Black Belt, a comprehensive guide to rapid, rock-solid results. This prevents injuries during the session and help the recovery. The whole new mind, while right-brainers will rule the future. That's one reason that many arts schools now offer degrees in game art and design. 7つの習慣。成功には原則があった。最初の半日を第4、第5、第6の習慣の原則とスキルを教えることに費やし、残りの時間の象徴的な相乗効果を発揮することに投入した。How to be your own best friend. I want to tell you that it's magic, but the whole point of the book is that there's no magic. So instead, let me simply say that I can't live without it. It would mean admitting they were wrong. Some people have strange jobs. How to become an archaeologist. To begin a career as an archaeologist, you will need to complete a degree in archaeology at an university. As you make each passage from youth to adulthood to maturity, sometimes you put your arms up and scream. Sometimes you just hang on to that bar in front of you. Reading people. how to understand the people and predict their behavior anytime, any place. Owning this small building is less expensive than renting space in a skyscraper. She's frugal and practical. No filter. How Instagram transformed the business, celebrity, and the culture. The CEO, everything breaks at the billion. The Art of Marriage, a guide to living life, page 2. If children mirror marriages, they can also distort them, and that includes making a marriage better. Coaching for performance. Overcoming barriers to coaching. The greatest barrier is the inability to give up what you have done before. The World Atlas of Copy. From beans to brewing, copies are explored, explained, and enjoyed. Boil a kettle of fresh water with a low mineral content, suitable for brewing coffee. I'm a stranger on the loop, but the key question is no matter how much you observe of another person, can you ever have observed so much of them that when that primary brain perishes, you can feel that that person did not totally perish from the earth because they, or at least a significant fraction of them, are still uh, instantiated in your brain because they still live on in a second neural home. The Be Happy attitudes, 8 positive attitudes that can transform your life. And that basic lesson in positive reactionism remains the keystone in the whole arch of possibilities thinking, reactionism. Better small talk. Talk to anyone. Avoid awkwardness. Generate deep conversation and make real friends. Actor number 1. I want to go to the butcher shop now, so let's go. ESB Study Bible. Come against her from every quarter, open her granaries, pile her up like the heaps of grain, and devote her to destruction. Let nothing be left of her. Granaries. Developing reading skills. Think carefully about what the writer is trying to tell you. Everyday Life Bible, the power of God's word for everyday living. In the end, Adamite's pride did lead to their destruction. 10 days to a sharper memory. Remember names, days, where you left the car keys. Never forget the fact that again. Self-improvement in only minutes a day. The consonant sound for number 8 is F. The phonetic word is finger. How to keep your job in a top competitive market. 101 strategies you can use today. Finally, look around the company to see if any part of the business is being underutilized. Obedience to authority, the experiment that challenged human nature. In this sense, the capacity for obedience is like the capacity for language. Certain highly specific mental structures must be present if the organism is to have potential for language. But exposure to a social milieu is needed to create a speaking man. 101 American English proverb. Love is blind. One sees no faults in the person one loves. Bible English. 30 pieces of silver. 30 pieces of silver. The leader's guide to problem solving. Are you solving the right problems? To see patterns in them, they'd have to observe him closely. The power of body language, how to succeed in every business and social encounter. Tilt your head to the side. This universal sign of vulnerability and trust shows the person that you are very interested in hearing what they have to tell you. A moment seems like a lifetime. A moment seems like a lifetime. Coaching salespeople into sales champion. A tactical playbook for managers and executives. So, if you are truly committed to this company and to your success here, is this turnaround process something you are willing to commit to? Success is a choice. 10 steps to overachieving in business and life. And hungry people in this context refer to those with a tremendous desire to succeed, people who won't ever be satisfied with an ordinary level of accomplishment. 101 American English proverb. Man does not live by bread alone. People's psychological needs as well as their physical needs must be satisfied if they are to live. What's the fastest way to learn a language? Act like the baby. Born into a veritable language jamboree, children figure out language purely from the sound, object, and the interaction around them. The innovation secret of Steve Jobs. Insanely different principles for breakthrough success. Even by Apple design standards, long known to honor clean and aesthetically pleasing lines. The iPhones had the spariest design ever conceived. Korean perception of the United States, a history of their origins and formation. Furthermore, when Ito Hirobumi was appointed Resident General in February 1906, most Europeans and Americans, especially missionaries and intellectuals, welcomed the Japanese. 15 secret successful people know about time management. A TV news program in Australia wanted to do a live interview with me on the same day via satellite, but I was already booked. How to smell a rat, the 5 signs of a financial fraud. Appendix A, asset allocation, risk and reward. Table A1 showed historic returns for a variety of asset allocation as well as the largest gains and losses for each. Reading discovery. Do animals have feelings? The veterinarian concluded that my dog had a cold. Bible philosophy made easy, an easy to understand pocket reference book. He denies that Jesus is really God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, but every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God. The collapse of the dollar. Make a fortune by investing in gold and other hard assets. This clause is a big red flag. Red flag. How does understanding God's character help you when you are waiting? Spiritual leadership, moving people on to God's agenda. In his all-consuming quest to raise more money, it was not difficult for him to cross ethical and even legal lines. The 21 indispensable qualities of a leader, becoming the person others will want to follow. Osler usually limited his work to hospital, but because of the magnitude of the epidemic, he treated many patients in their homes. Start with why. How great leaders inspire everyone to take action. But one thing's for sure, when you are standing in line at the supermarket with all of these items in your arms, your salary, rice, milk, Oreos, and M&Ms, nobody can see what you believe. Love for imperfect things. How to accept yourself in a world striving for perfection. Find happiness not in financial or business success, but by spending time with friends and loved ones. Millionaire traders, how everyday people are beating Wall Street at its own game. Now you are able to trade for 15 to 20 points. Bullish thinking, an advisor's guide to surviving and thriving on Wall Street. You can use the divide and conquer method of profiling. The longevity project. surprising discoveries for health and long life from the landmark 8-decade study. How many relatives do you see or hear from at least once per month? The 5 a.m. club on your morning elevated your life. Andy's head swelled to such a degree it rose to sit at the peak of the majestic mountain you both are looking at now, reminding everyone who sees it to keep their promises. Cooking for Mr. Latte, it sounds like it's straight from the Pillsbury Bake-Off, but it tastes like it's straight from Pie Yard. Power question, build relationship, win new business, and influence others. 337 essential questions to help you succeed at work and in life. The heart of the matter. I'm meeting with Kay, the co-chair of a large professional services firm. Manage your career. 10 keys to survival and success when interviewing and on the job. Your job performance and other contribution can improve if you remain attuned to the organization's culture and you're fitted with it. Jesus calling, enjoy peace in his presence. Though you cannot hear their voices, your praise and thanksgiving are distinctly audible in heaven. Origins of the species, myths and misconception of the English language. Wipe, fiery, their histories are from the OED. The grip of the club, the secret to getting through all kind of change. These the times when I hadn't had my needs met by someone or in a way I expected. My needs were met by someone else. The 22 immutable laws of marketing. Violate them at your own risk. It was the no-frills airline that flew to no-frills cities and no-frills prices. No frills. No frills. Through worship, reclaiming the wonder and the majesty, compassion of faith, take hold of the eternal life, to which you were called, and for which you made the good compassion in the presence of many witnesses. 1 Timothy chapter 6. Your true home, the everyday wisdom herb. Pieces are ready with them. First things are the first. Integrity in the moment of choice. Quality of life depends on what happens in the space between stimulus and the response. On digital, understanding the first generation of digital natives. Some digital natives take this next step to engage more meaningfully with the facts and the context of what they read. Feeling good together, the secret to making troubled relationship work. Many of my colleagues and patients have told me that this exercise changed their lives. Being happy. You don't have to be perfect to lead a richer, happier life. By creating a psychological safe environment, great corporate leaders increase the likelihood of bringing out the optimalist in every employee. Putting it in writing, friendly letters, business letters, complaints and requests, school report, thank yous, essays. This is to let you know that the staff of the Edison Advocate, our school paper, will be meeting on Monday. 話し方がうまくなる、声まで良くなる。1日1分朗読。人間はダイヤモンドの原石。私はお高い人間はダイヤモンドの原石の孤独ものだと考えている。The tiny book, tiny stories. More messages after these messages. O's Guide to Discovering Your Best Life. I went to see my former therapist for a tune-up shortly after I married. Tune-up. The Ten Commandments, the significance of God's laws in everyday life. Intentionally undermining the work of a colleague can result in that person's failure to receive a promotion or worse, even termination of employment. To take away someone's livelihood is comparable to the murder. Mean murders, overcoming the legacy of hurt. Securely attached children would, as adults, raise securely attached children, while insecurely attached children, whether avoidant or anxious, ambivalent, would, without intervention, grow up to be parents who would in turn raise insecurely attached children. Service is front stage, positioning services for value advantage. The customer would enjoy a memorable experience while being served and entertained by the chef, all at a reasonable price. Summary of 12 Rules for Life, an antidote to chaos. Humans sin all the time. Once humans start doing things after they understand the meaning of their action, they have a different view of their action and their impact in the future. This tend to stimulate them to continuously do good all the time. Why do we have two hands? As you grow older, you will discover that you have two hands, one for helping yourself, the other for helping others. Talk like the TED, the 9 public speaking secret of the world's top minds. When I asked about his speaking style, he told me that he liked to sound like he's talking to a friend over dinner in a restaurant. The secret life of the grown-up brain, the surprising talents of the middle-aged mind. If the encoding were not stopped at some point, the older neuron would be constantly readjusting to new information. signals the 27 trends defining the future of the global economy. Research has suggested that a variety of factors such as growing capital accumulation, increasing life expectancies, and increased public spending could all be playing a role. The art of travel, a jewel of civility. If a traveler was to feel personally involved with rather than guiltily obedient towards the walls and ceilings of the church decorated with 19th century frescoes and painting, he or she would have to be able to connect these facts as boring as a fly with one of the large, blunt questions to which genuine curiosity must be anchored. When genius failed, the rise and fall of long-term capital management. With the bears on the prowl, uh, McDonald had no time for moose. Words and rules, the ingredients of language. Allman replicated this test with another group of language impaired children who offered cleaner scientific test of series about the language. The message solo New Testament. Do you ever imagine God taking side either with you against the world or with everyone else against you? The lector's cut. Yeah, A was dead. Unconventional. How rebel companies are changing market, hearts and mind, and how you can too. The PJA change ladder. For just a second, think about where you are on this ladder. 人は99%真に取り組む、働かせる。なぜあの人が話すとみんなが注目するのか。人の心を手に取るように動かせる心理テクニックとは、自分に少のいい結果を引き出す心理作戦。No filter, the inside story of Instagram. In this moment, she remembered that Instagram had told her family that if they ever needed advice on project, the company could help. So for the day, the more places I look, the more I can see an awesome God. Survival Japanese, how to communicate without fuss or fear instantly. Keywords and phrases. How old are you? 何歳ですか?何歳ですか? The art of being, lessons in unconventional thinking. As I expected, R was not an easy sell. Easy sell. Perfect praises for performance at the reviews. Frequently is the first to identify process problems others have missed. The seven wonders that will change your life. If I had a friend and was to realize that he had always encouraged me to be dependent on him and had never urged me to stand on my own 2 feet, would I be free to end our relationship when I became stronger and more independent? Pros and cons, a debater's handbook. The latter do not have the choice whether to sell their body or not. It is a male-dominated world, and many young women are locked into a life dependency on customers and the pimps. Pimp. Home economics caretaker. Hey, look, Snow, let's go build a snowman. Well, all right. 네, 믿어요. 유기다요. 유기다루 마스크로요. 쇼가 나이나. 자, high performance habits. How extraordinary people become that way. Action work their heart and their passwords are revealed. How to get control of your time and your life. Discover how to set your priorities, manage your life, and achieve your goals. How to build your willpower. Damn good advice for people with talent. How to unleash your creative potential by America's master communicator. It must have a quickly recognizable face. The world according to Oprah, an unauthorized portrait in her own voice. Thought I could work 24 hours, 24 days on a consistent basis. Rise of the robot, technology, and the threat of jobless of the future. While that conversation probably never actually took place, the anecdote nonetheless captured a key concern about the ultimate impact of widespread automation. Workers are also consumers, and they rely on their wages to purchase the product and the services produced by the economy. Branding. Discover dynamic system for brand creation and the management. When you feel you are ready to incorporate the podcast in your publicity program, follow these steps. Let's listen to podcasts to get a feel for their style and content. How they got into Harvard. 50 successful applicants share 8 key strategies for getting into the college of your choice. Harrison, a professional magician since the ninth grade and a member of the Society for American Magicians and the Harvard Magic Society, became interested in magic when he received his first magic set as a Hanukkah gift at the age of 5. The One Device, The Secret History of the iPhone. Could they then actually change anything on my phone? The magic of believing, with a new introduction by how you become one you contemplate. Mistakes I made at work. In addition to telling completely engaging, funny, and moving stories about both a life and the development of a career as a writer and food critic, these books are each their own sensory experience. Psalms for Praying, an invitation to holies. Psalm chapter 80. Enliven your people with compassion, that peace and justice might flourish. Breaking the habit of being yourself, how to lose your mind and create a new one. As you linger in this creative state where you are no longer your identity, the nerve cells that once fired together to form that old self are no longer wiring together. NYC Basic Tips and Etiquette. Keep to the right, don't stop here. If you encounter an aggressive, inebriated, and or unstable person, inebriated, the secret to love that lasts, words of affirmation, quality time, gift, acts of service, physical touch. Does that sound like your husband? Has he treated you as an enemy rather than as a friend? She nodded. She nodded. The Fusion Marketing Bible, traditional media, social media, digital media to maximize your marketing. All traditional media channels, television, radio, outdoor ads, newspapers, and magazines reported a significant spike in advertising and sales in 2011, particularly for third and fourth quarter. A race like no other, 26.2 miles through the streets of New York. Buses wait in the pre-dawn darkness to transport runners from the New York Public Library in Midtown Manhattan to the starting village in Staten Island. Christmas Magic, 101 holiday tales of inspiration, love, and wonder. She tried to pry the paper from my hand, but I crumpled it up and shoved it deep into my pocket. Pry, P-R-Y. The search for significance. Seeing your true words through God's other eyes. Do you want to go to the Father after you've sinned? If not, why? Survival Handbook. Survival Handbook. On broad-leaved and coniferous trees and stumps from spring to autumn, slice and stew. Coniferous, coniferous. forbidden fruit. Whether many teenagers do not live up to the sexual norms, whether permissive or restrictive, that they profess. Working backwards, insight stories and secrets from inside the Amazon. The roadmap for fast following is relatively clear. You study what your competitor has built and copied. There's no roadmap for invention. Inner Sight, the new science to unlock your brain's hidden power. That's right. Your subconscious beliefs will almost always win. Pity the billionaire, the hard times swindle, and the unlikely comeback of the right swindle. Jesus lives. Sing his love in your life. I delight greatly in the Lord. My soul rejoices in my God. The message of hope. Nobody has to tell us how hard things get. We are all acquainted with the bad news. MIK, you know you are on MK when you calculate the exchange rate by the price of Coke. Think and grow rich. There are 7 major positive emotions and 7 major negative emotions. The 7 major positive emotions: the emotion of desire, the emotion of faith, the emotion of love, the emotion of sex, the emotion of enthusiasm, the emotion of romance, the emotion of hope. The 7 major negative emotions to be avoided: fear, jealousy, hatred, revenge, greed, superstition, anger. God's little book of hope, words of inspiration and encouragement for difficult times. It's above all, when everything seems hopeless, that hope truly shows its the strength. The night was divided into 4 watches, each consisting of 3 hours. See Mark chapter 13. And the day was to some extent likewise divided into periods. The power is a user's guide to the rest of your life. Pursue your dreams. Pursue your dreams. In much the same way as each of us create a vision for how we'd like to spend our power years, it can be enormously helpful to have some sense of what lies ahead and how to navigate the journey. Practice perfect. 42 rules for getting better at getting better. Phil Mickelson's coach, Butch, who also coached Tiger Woods, point out how much the average golfer could learn from watching how a pro approaches the range. Alliance brand, fulfilling the promise of parent partnering. In one instance, the proposed alliance managers Foreign alliance could not see eye to eye, yet the forms wanted to work together. Kiss That Frog, 12 Great Ways to Turn Negatives into Positives in Your Life and Work. Suffering and pain. Often people won't invest much time and effort into taking care of themselves until they are diagnosed with an illness or suffer from chronic pain. The Fourth Industrial Revolution, founder and executive chairman, World Economic Forum. Supply chain and logistics elimination, more leisure time, positive impact, more access to material. CEO, speed is everything. it is the indispensable ingredients in competitiveness. Coaching, evoking excellence in others. Second, while you are conducting your presentation or are in a technical conversation with somebody, keep observing the way you did that before. 象徴たちの性はなぜ空虚になったか、かつて。There is no peace for the wicked, says my God. Another person, a stranger, あなたが超英語勉強術、インターネット時代の読解力強化、日本でいす目玉焼きのことなのです。日本語と英語の言葉感覚を比較しながら知識を引く。Practical wisdom, the right way to do the right things, demoralizing institution. 本人各所、日本各所。働く君たちへ腹の底からの思いを語る。知恵を活性化させる方法。60歳からの人生。追いゆくとき、私の生かし方。食べること、死の日まで自分で自分を生かす。30代から始める頭のいい勉強術。一番望んでいるものを手に入れる知的ノウハウ。私の言う思考の記憶術とは短期記憶やあなたの周囲の人々、そして周囲の者たちはすべてあなたが決めてきたのです。